Okay. So this is a new setup here. So give me a second because I am not used to. If you can hear me, say something, because Facebook is always changing stuff. So let me see. I see there's a few people watching, but the whole setup is totally different. So I am trying to get to the page. Let me see where I can see a little more. But as long as it's recording, I'm gonna just go with that. So I don't have to log out and log back in. So hopefully you guys can hear me okay. But it's been a while. So hey everybody, how are you doing? What's going on? If you have been following me a little bit, then you know that I did just get married. So I thought that this topic was like the best topic. Marriage or entanglement, given the fact that the word entanglement is trending right now. It's trending right now, so let's go ahead and hop on that train. So I was thinking about this topic, and I was thinking, really for me, I was thinking about people that really want to be married versus people that don't want to be married. And then when the topic entanglement came up, I was like, wow, like that's perfect, because really that's really what you're into. If you're really not trying to get married necessarily, then you're probably getting into an entanglement. So I thought that was like the perfect topic. But I had some other things. I took a couple of screenshots of another conversation I had before I get into the actual topic, and it was just really interesting to me. So I wanted to share that. I'm looking on my phone right now for that actual screenshot of this. Is kind of like before we get into the real love lesson, I'm looking for that screenshot because that was like really interesting to me. So I'll share this with you because it's a lot of people that are following the love lessons. It's really like the goal is to be in love. So regardless of how you want to do it, that's the goal. So we're looking at things from a male point of view and things from a female point of view. And what I often find myself looking at is, what is it that men look for? And I kind of know a lot of the things that women look for, but there's different type of women. So I'm kind of in that phase of researching, given the fact that I'm only one woman, I'm only one type of woman, but there's a lot of different other women out there. And then in regards to men, there are a lot of different men that they have different views on what they're looking for as well. So, fellas, I would like to know if this is something that you feel like are a requirement. This is my question to you, the question to the audience. And if you listen to this on another platform, like a podcast platform, it's a question for you. You can email me at moreinyocoaching@gmail.com and let me know what you think. So requirements of a woman is that she has femininity, affectionate, she's submissive, able to cook, loving and supportive. This person said sexual. I guess that's connected to affectionate. They must have really needed that because it's basically listed twice. And loyal. And then the rewards that they have listed are loyalty, love, attention, kids, a home, a car, vacation, shopping, lots of sex, and security. So I'm just curious if you guys think that this is reasonable, and if you guys think that this is like something that's hard. Is this ideal if you're a guy? I just really want some feedback on that. So let me go ahead and I'm gonna check out your comments to see if you guys will give me some feedback on that, because I really want to know what you guys think about that. So let me know. I cannot see the comments right now, so I might have to circle back, and if I can go back and look through some of your comments, but let me know anyway. Well, that being said, the topic today, marriage or entanglement. I wanted to talk about the differences between marriage and entanglement. I also wanted to talk about if you really wanted to be married, if that is what you really want, because I know I have been single, or I've got to get used to it. I'm married now. So I was single for about 8 years, and just the story time. Basically, when I got divorced, I wanted to basically level up. I wanted to improve myself in every way possible. So what I did was I enrolled in school again, and I was going for my PhD. What else did I do? I worked on my body. I worked on my beauty. I worked on every area that I can, because I am a life coach too. So I worked on everything that I possibly could work on, so that I could enhance who I was. So my goal is to level up so that I could attract the kind of person that I was actually more interested in. It didn't quite go the way that I thought, but that was the goal. Like that's the foundation of what I was trying to do. But what I would do during that period of time is I would date different people, knowing that I really didn't want to be married. I thought it would be cool to have like a good friend, somebody to like hang out with, somebody to exchange gifts with on those like special times. But it wasn't like, I know in my mind I was really focused on getting things in order, getting things in place, getting things the way that I wanted them to be before I went into a real marriage, like a spiritual connection, that's financial connection. It's just so much to marriage other than I'm just in love. So if I was really honest with myself, I did not prefer to be married at the time, but I was kind of influenced by some people around me, some women where they had never, I think I had a really close friend at the time, she had never been married before at all. So she had a strong desire to get married. And then I had other friends at the time, they just wanted to date. They wanted to really get into something leading to something serious. So I just kind of felt like I was like a minority at the time, because of, it seemed like everybody around me, I was affiliated with the church too, so it was like everybody around me wanted to, the goal was marriage. So nobody was like really comfortable with just waiting. So that being said, I went ahead and got into entanglements. So what Jada Smith said when she was talking about I got into an entanglement, it's just really interesting to me, because so many people, there's all kinds of different reactions to it, and I'm not going to make this video about that, but I'm just thinking about the word entanglement, because basically if you're not married, or if the goal is not to get married, then it's basically getting yourself involved in an entanglement. So it was just kind of funny. It's a funny word, but I think it definitely makes sense for what is out there. So there's a total difference between if you want to be married, meaning that you are serving this person, you're giving your all to this person, or you just kind of want somebody to fill in the gaps. So you're the person where you're thinking about, okay, I'm broken in this area, I need healing in that area, this person needs healing in whatever they're dealing with, so we can just come together and make each other feel better and we'll be cool. So there's a big difference between wanting to actually be married and commit your life to somebody versus wanting to be just an entanglement, just something just for now. You just got caught up. And some people even want to actually, they would rather have a partnership. So there's like threefold, but we're just talking about marriage and entanglement. And I thought that it was a great topic when it comes to love lessons, because a lot of us get in unnecessary entanglements, whether intentionally or unintentionally. But as we're growing up, and this is really geared toward people that are 30 and up, as you're growing up, it's like to knowingly get into an entanglement is just plain foolishness. So foolishness being that you know the right thing to do, but you choose to do something different. So that is the exact opposite of using wisdom. So what I'm trying to do is just create a more of an awareness for this type of situation. So then that way you can actually make the steps toward change. Because if you really don't want to be married, which is okay, then the best thing to do is to wait and prepare and level up without all the entanglements, because it's a complete waste of time. So I don't really expect people to comment or say much about that unless you're saying, hey, Ashley, I can see the comments. So I'm glad I can see them. So I'm glad somebody did comment, because I appreciate the fact that I can see the comments. They've changed this setup. So threw me off a little bit, but I decided to keep going. So again, the topic is marriage and entanglement. And I just talked about the difference between marriage and entanglement. Then if you decide, moving on, if you decide that you actually want to be married, the biggest point of, I think it's the biggest point. This is the biggest point for me. You take it however you take it. But the biggest point for me is that love is not enough. So whether you're in a marriage or you're in an entanglement, just saying that you love somebody and you are just totally in love with them and you've never felt that way before, that is not going to be enough to keep your entanglement going, and it's not going to be enough to keep your marriage. It's not going to be enough for whatever you got going on for it to last. So when it comes to marriage, you have got to be willing to give all of yourself. If you're not really willing to do that, you'll become frustrated and you will want to quit. Okay? So, being that I have been married before, I'm not speaking as a newlywed, which is what I am now. I'm speaking as a person that has experienced that love is not enough. I have a very open heart, and I can love easily, and that is not enough to keep whatever type of relationship you got going, to keep that going, because you definitely will become frustrated and it will come to a head, just like the situation with Jada. You know, that situation, that side situation came to a head. I've had so many different situations like that in my life, not in my personal life, but you know, just people telling me. And I always tell them that eventually, if you don't know who to pick or what to do or whatever, eventually it's all going to come to a head where the truth comes out, and that love that you were feeling, that you felt at the very beginning, it was not enough to sustain that relationship. So that is one of the biggest lessons that I have learned about relationships, period, is that love is not enough. And I invite you guys to email me your love lessons if it's something that you're passionate about. You may not want to type it in and comment what your greatest love lesson is. That was one of mine. My greatest love lessons is love not being enough and being willing to actually be a servant and give of yourself completely to another person. If you're not willing to do that, then you should not get married. Which was why, one of the main reasons why it took me so long to get married, because there was just really nobody that I felt like I could give of myself to that degree. Like I just really, and I was not in a place to do that because I had some other stuff that I wanted to do. So I did the other things. And I enjoyed doing that, and I did all the things that I really cared about before getting married again. So that being said, if you have recently divorced or you've been divorced for a little bit, live it up. Enjoy yourself. I feel like I didn't have enough people telling me that. That's why I'm writing this book, Love Lessons. That's also why I do this as a podcast. I also, if you haven't seen this before and you want to look at the previous videos, I post them all on YouTube as well. So I'll link that in the comments so that you can check out the YouTube channel if you want to check out some of the previous videos, because I'm super passionate about this, because I feel like there was not enough people saying the things that I needed to hear while I was single. There was not enough people saying it's okay to be single. It's okay to work on yourself. It's okay to level up. It's okay not to be worried about a man. I feel like guys do this a lot better than females do. However, when I started doing this, I had no idea that there was going to be so many guys that have really got themselves caught up into some entanglements and they were emotional about it. They really needed somebody to talk to. So the guys have really started to interact. The guys actually interact more than females. So ladies, I do want to hear a little more from you, because I want to hear, some of the things that you feel like that would help you. So if you know me personally, or if you just know me from Facebook, whatever comments or feedback that you have about me writing this book, then let me know. So if you go back and watch the videos in your spare time, or just thinking about this one, if you think this is something that should make it to the book, then let me know. But the last thing that I wanted to share with you guys was, make sure you plan and you prepare for what you actually want. So if you do really want to be married, if you really want to be married, if you're a female, there's certain things that you would do, and if you're a male, there's certain things that you would do if you have a traditional mindset, which I do. So I think for both ends, we'll start there. For both male and females, if you do actually want to be married, then you would plan for that. So in the area of your finances, if you are a woman, there's no guys out here that just wants to take on all your debt and pay all your bills, so you still want to make sure you get your finances, your credit in order. Mind you, that kind of, I've had people tell me that they have met a man that they really felt like he was marriage material, and they were scared to tell them about the amount of debt that they had and what they really had going on. I've also had a guy tell me that he was married and he found out about her debt later, and it really upset him. So you really want to work, even as you're single. If you want to be married, you want to work on your finances. If you really want to be married, then you really want to work on your body, your physique, And you also, not just for health purposes more than anything, but it also helps, is visually appealing. So you want to be attractive. So males and females, you want to be attractive, you want to be healthy. I know someone that a part of the reason why they got divorced, and I'm not saying agree or disagree with this, so we're not getting into that, but a part of the reason why they got divorced is because once they got married, they figured out that the person that they married had way more health conditions than they thought. Like, they were not aware of all the health conditions that they had. So you want to take care of your physical fitness, your health and wellness is really important if you want to be married. You also want to take care of yourself spiritually, regardless, even if you didn't. But you definitely want to, because marriage, it really magnifies whatever is in you. So if you're really dealing with some things spiritually, then it's just going to magnify even more, because that person's going to bring it out of you. So if you struggle in certain areas, so say even things like you think about yourself first. You're like, a lot of people think that you're selfish. That will be very difficult, and you can work on that spiritually while you're single. Trying to think about others, doing things for others a little more while you're single, because when you're married, that is just not going to work. So you can work on those type of things while you're still single in preparation. Down to the practical things, like say I knew someone that wanted to be married at one point, and before she got married, she knew she didn't know how to cook very well. So she worked on that, like, what are some meals and stuff that I can get together, because there are men that's what they really enjoy, is for their woman to cook for them. And I think both sides, again, bringing up the finances, because really you've got to set budgets together. You've got to do so many things together. So you want to magnify your strengths and minimize your weaknesses within your marriage. But if you're not aware of what your strengths are, you're not aware of your weaknesses, then you're in a tough position as well. So you want to work on everything, you just completely as a person, mind, body, and soul. Okay. So when I talked about going back to school, different things like that, there's so many things that you can do to prepare if that's what you want. Now, on the flip side, if you want to be in an entanglement, then what I will tell you is that a lot of people are not going to admit that, so I'm not even going to expect any comments or anything in regards to people that want to be in an entanglement. But what I will say is that there are drawbacks to that. So the biggest thing that I learned from knowingly getting involved in entanglements is that it's a time sucker. Like, it just completely, it wastes your time getting involved in these entanglements just to fulfill a void. So Ashley is saying, on this topic, do you feel Will cheated in a relationship a long time ago, leaving Jada to make a difficult decision with children and being in front of the media? What if she accepted it because Will said he was sorry? She then got insecure around other women, and with her scared to lose her marriage, she accepted other women in their relationship. Is this a constant get you back at you situation, or is this really a strong marriage? Forget August. Okay, so that's what Ashley just submitted. So what I feel like Will and Jada, they put on a very strong front. Like, it's a very strong front. They are actors, so they do very well in the public eye. Honestly, I feel like their relationship, I'm not saying it wasn't genuine at one point, but they stayed together more for partnership than true marriage. which was what I was talking about before, giving everything of yourself. So I'm not saying that they didn't have anything real, but when you are actually in a partnership, then you do not really want to mess that up unless you have to, you know. So given that they have built an empire together, she's not really willing to walk away, nor should she, in my opinion, walk away from that when it comes to, you know, the bumps and things that you go through. I don't take Jada as being insecure at all. She just does not give me insecure vibes, but I think she's just kind of doing what she has to do. I did have someone that I was like very close to where she really couldn't. She had a period of time where she couldn't stand her husband, but then they had children together, and his income was greater than her income, and she was just like, I haven't found anything better. And with Jada, it's like, is she going to find something better than Will Smith? That's a tough one. So it's just like I feel like it's more like using common sense, like not taking all emotion out of it. Finances, like, okay, and family. So I have a family with this man, and all my finances are tied up with this man. Will my life be better without him? Completely, like without Will? No. And I think that they'll never be like completely, you know, apart from each other. I think they both realize that their lives are connected forever. That's one of the things that I didn't personally realize. When I went through a divorce, I'm still connected to my ex-husband in a way. I have 3 children with him. Our families were connected, so he's basically family. So I'm not for the bad marriage for life. That's a Will and Jada thing. I'm not for that. But I think that they realize that they are together forever, regardless of how they feel about each other at times, because feelings come and go. So when it comes to love, you really make a decision that I want to love you no matter what, you know. So I think when it comes to, I don't know if I would say it's a strong marriage. I think it's a strong partnership, you know, for sure. Marriage, I feel like, is so much more than what they're displaying. They're displaying a perfect partnership because they are partners for life, you know, regardless. But as far as giving of themselves wholly and completely, I think at one point they did that, but I don't think, I think they got frustrated throughout their marriage, and that part went away and it became a partnership. And let me see, this was a lot, so I don't know if I caught everything, but I think I did. A constant get you back. I don't take them as get you back couple either. That's the last thing for this loaded question and comment. I don't take them as a get you back couple. I think that they are more of a go with the flow kind of a couple, which can work for you and against you. Go with the flow as far as their personal stuff. As far as business, they're all partnership. But I think with the reason why she got in an entanglement is that she really was not intentional about how she wanted to move forward if her and Will were not together in the same way. They had agreed that they were going to be partners forever regardless, life partners, but if they were not living a married life, put it that way, then I believe that she just was not intentional about what does this look like if I'm in this partnership with Will, but you know, I have this other part of me that's unfulfilled. What do I do? So that's why, again, I'm so passionate about the topic of relationships, just the idea of love lessons, because you could avoid a lot of heartache that you cause yourself and that you cause other people if you're more intentional about what you want to do, if you're planning and you're preparing. Some stuff you can't plan for, some stuff you can't prepare for, but you can tell when your marriage is falling apart and is leading toward divorce. So you can begin to think about what type of relationships do I want to have, and how do I build these relationships. If my marriage fails, you can really prepare for that. Or if your marriage just failed, you can really prepare for that mentally and say, okay, I'm going to take this amount of time to myself. Or if I do get involved with somebody, I want it to lead to marriage. Or if I do get involved with somebody, I don't want it to be marriage yet, but I just want it to be friendship. So therefore, I'm going to have certain boundaries in place. So there's certain things that you can do so that you don't get caught up, you don't get entangled. Because really, if you're over, especially 40, I would say 30 and up, you should start, to think differently. But especially when you hit over 40, you kind of know better, so you need to be doing better. I'm not even going to go into my thoughts about August as much, her and August and that whole situation, because that will be an entire video because I have some strong opinions about that, but I'm trying to keep it still focused on what I'm going to write in my book, Love Lessons. But basically, at the end of the day, you have to do everything that you can to become a better person. So whether you want to be married or you really are legitimately getting entangled. So you are making a conscious choice to be entangled with someone, I would say know your risk. Okay? So if you want to be entangled, know your risk. And I know I had my soul sister, bestie of all times, when I was going through that phase of entanglement, she said, D, if you keep doing this, it's going to just take you longer. And it did. It's going to take longer for you to meet the love of your life, because I was so caught up in, whatever I was caught up in. So then I got to untangle myself and heal from the entanglement before I can actually connect and have true love. So all that being said, what's the biggest love lesson that this is what I will leave you with, is be honest about what you really want. You really got to be honest about what you really want, because if you lie to yourself like I did, which I do not advise it, if you lie to yourself and you tell yourself, no, I really want to be married right now, I want to be married, and you're not willing to give of yourself, then you're going to hurt yourself and you're going to hurt another person, and you're going to take yourself through unnecessary grief. And it's not about just you. When you actually get married, you are connecting two families together. So if you lie to yourself and you tell yourself that you actually want a real marriage, you need to start really rethinking that. I personally lied to myself because of my religious beliefs. So I just felt like everybody in the church, they were married, and the single people got a little less clout. So I had religious beliefs, I had ego issues, whole lot of issues that I worked on. I had to work through, or God worked through them with me. But I had those kind of issues. So my ego, I didn't personally want to be married, but my ego wanted the respect that I felt like that I would get with being married. So that's why, again, I'm so passionate about this, because I could have been a person that got married and then it felt like I got married the second time earlier on, and it failed quickly because of marrying the wrong person, due to the fact that I really just wanted more respect. I hated the fact that I felt like people looked down on people that were not married, because it's not fair. Like, there's nothing wrong with you per se just because you choose not to be married, or maybe it's not even a choice, just because you just haven't found the right person, or the right person hasn't found you, however you want to put it, there's nothing wrong with you. So you really have to be honest about what you really want. If you want to be married, then you need to take care of a lot of things before you actually get married. I didn't really get on the guys as much. I didn't really share much of a, not saying I would get on guys, but I didn't really share much of what, like a lot of women, what we expect from men. But that's actually the post that I was looking for, and I didn't find it. So maybe I'll share it the next time I do a video. But this guy said, my question was, and I'm ending with this. My question was, what do women have to do? What does a man have to do for a woman to, how much money does a man have to make for a woman to respect him? So a lot of people, or I wouldn't say a lot of people, some people thought, I posted this in a group, some people thought it was like a ridiculous question, but then other people thought that a lot of men answered that question, and the best answer that I got, I'm just going to summarize it because I couldn't find it in my phone quick enough to read it to you. But he said that statistics show, and I've got to do my own research to find out, to validate it, that it's 30% more, that men need to make 30% more than the woman for her to actually respect him. So if you listen to this, I really want to hear your opinion about that. This topic is definitely going into the book when I talk about the income and women being independent. That's the most views that I've received so far, was on a video, Are Women Too Independent? So I've got to include that in the book about the finances. So fellas, if you are wanting that clout, that position, that respect, it is 30% more. So if you got a certain type of woman that you like, then you've got to figure out, what is this certain type, how much money does this certain type of woman make, and I got to get her by 30%. So that seemed, from my personal opinion, I have not researched that, my personal opinion, I do believe that sounds about right. I mean, it's not necessarily how I feel. I'm one of those women that I feel like, as long as you can hold your own and I don't have to take care of you, I'm not going to take care of a guy, but I'll respect anyone as long as they take care of themselves. I respect them as a man because I feel like boys need someone to take care of them because they're boys. So of course they need support, but grown men, they take care of themselves. So if they are, where their income is so low where they have to rely on others to support and take care of them, that I can't look at a man as my man that I'm looking up to when he doesn't even have enough income to just take care of himself, let alone a whole family. So that was just an interesting topic. I had some crazy responses from guys. So I definitely want to hear what more about that, and then I definitely will share. I'll find that other, there was a comment that was bananas. So I have to find that and share it with you with the next love lesson. But I appreciate you guys listening. I usually come on a little later. This is so dark. I usually come on a little later, but I decided to pop on now when I had time and interact with you guys. So if you see this a little later, then let me know what you think. Definitely post your comments and everything, and share if you care. I will post the links down here to my podcast if you want to subscribe to the podcast, and then I'll also post a link to YouTube if you like YouTube a little better. And lastly, this is the latest and greatest of something that I'm doing now. I actually have, you can't see my shirt very well, but I have a Boss Life shirt on. I have become a Avon rep too. So those of you, I don't know how many of you guys already have someone, but if you need somebody, then I do have that. I've added that to my Divine Destiny beauty supply. So if you need anything, let me know, and I'll send you the link to that. And those of you that really enjoy some of the content as well, I do have a book that I wrote years ago. That's why I got to get this one out, because I am like overdue when it comes to releasing a book. But the book that I have out now is There's More in You, and it really talks a lot about the preparation process, you know, that spiritual journey that you go through in life when you're preparing for greatness. So some of the things that I talked about in this video when I was talking about preparing and really leveling up and becoming everything that you were destined to become, that's a great book to read if you are deciding to just be single and not get entangled. Because I talk about in that book letting go and releasing yourself from some entanglements. So if you're wanting to kind of become healed and get free of some stuff, then I do actually have a free ebook on my site, moreinYouCoaching.com, or you can get the whole entire book. If you want me to sign it, then I'll sign it. Just send me a message, and you can order it that way. Otherwise, it's on Amazon. So want to hear your thoughts either way. This podcast or this recordings that I do, they're really just to do some brainstorming for this book. So I'm getting really close to really writing it, but I just want to make sure that I include the topics that you guys need the most. So all that being said, if you have any questions that you want me to address, then you can email them to me at moreinYouCoaching.com. I'll go ahead and put that in here as well. I'll comment the moreinYouCoaching.com. That'll be in the comments. And if you just want like advice where you want me to actually talk to you, you can actually book a session with me for that. But if just general questions and stuff, I'll be happy to address your questions anonymously on my next love lessons. If you want to join me in one, then I used to do that a lot. So I'm going to get back to doing that too. Just let me know. Just reach out to me because it's really fun to have conversations with people about relationships, about what you think, about what's going on out here. So what I love to leave you guys with is always remember, no matter what you're going through, no matter what you've been through, there's still more in you. So until next time, thanks for listening.